States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
The meeting will please come to order. It's been posted according to the Chapter 5501 Texas Government Code as amended, known as the Texas Open Meeting Act. Any members of the public who wish to speak shall have 3 minutes to address the court regarding matters not appearing on the agenda or on an item or the agenda. The Commissioners Court may not deliberate or take action on any item that is not posted. Any discussion of the subject must be limited to providing specific factual information. Okay, so any members of the public would like to speak? Okay. We'll now go down to item, I believe number 9 is the only thing we have. And that's to consider and accept a grant for a pumper truck, tanker. So if you guys, whoever wants to speak.
Budget transfers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine, that's fine, I just don't tell you. I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. I'm Andrew Whiter. I'm the chaplain with the fire department, and we wanted to take an opportunity to kind of communicate some of the things that we have been received. In the letter you have there, it's going to detail quite a bit of what's going on, what we are looking at. We were rewarded a $275,000 grant for a truck, for a pumper tanker truck. There are a lot of options. You can see that as we've kind of laid that out. There's been conversations about a commercial cab truck, something that's going to look like more than $1 million range, and then something that's a lot more conservative. After we've looked at this and our needs for the department, our needs for the county, and what we need in our situations that we face, is something that is more of a conservative desire for our department. What we've decided to come with today is a truck that is a pumper. It does have the capability of being a backup pumper truck, but it is more so a tanker. We do not have the capacity or capability that the tanker right now would provide. Our current county engine is engine 83, and that one is in disrepair at the moment. We have looked at the repairs for that, and in that you can see a little bit of that detail in here. It's as well as that engine will be out of date in the next few years. So no matter what, we will be getting to a point where that engine will not be able to be utilized for the ISO, and that could negatively affect us. So right now we're looking at replacing engine 83, and we're looking at this tanker truck that will be a 2,000-gallon tanker truck, something that we have seen in person. Rusk just had this truck delivered. This vehicle has several abilities that we as a department could use. One of the major needs not only is the supply of water, but also safety. It provides a monitor on the bumper line where we can control from inside the cab, seat belted in, using a joystick, whether there's a fire on the highway, fire off of the roadway, or it's something where we can reach it with a monitor. That would give us the ability to address a fire if, in the situation that we've seen ourselves in recently, a single person is responding to a grass fire or a brush fire that is close to that roadway. With that monitor, we'd be able to reach it. It's a pump and go truck, which gives us the ability to put it into pump gear, to run it to drive it while pumping water. and to address whatever situation we may be facing. With this, there's a lot that we have in front of us, and there's a lot of information you have in front of us, and I'm not going to go through the details, as there's others here that are more of an expert opinion than I am. But what we are looking at this point, with the $275,000 grant, I believe we have until tomorrow to decide. We were just awarded this. We have not been given a whole lot of time to respond to this. But in order for us to accept this, I believe it is tomorrow when we...
Thought it was the 13th.
Okay.
I'll check with the chief.
So that would be the next Friday. I knew it was a Friday. I was assuming it was today. It was tomorrow. So we still have a week to deliberate on it. But what we're looking at right now, and the truck that we have been approaching, and that is with Safe Industries, is a truck that's going to look more along the lines of a $538,000 truck max, the full amount. So the $275,000 would take off, bring that amount down to about $220,000 to consider.
$264,600.
264?
Yep.
As to what we need. And with that, you'll see there, you should have in hand a little bit more of a clear breakdown of that. I would like to give the floor to the representative from Safe Industries and allow him to give you more of an explanation of the truck. But this is something that we see as a need. Just on Monday, there was an illegal burn that we had, and our need in that situation was we ran out of water. We had 2 trucks there. We had both the grass and the brush, and we had to rely on T to come and help us with that need, and they were able to bring their tanker. But we were in a situation with just 3 firefighters. Had we been able to respond with a tanker and a grass truck, or a tanker and a brush truck, that fire would have been out in less than the 4 hours that it took us. But that's one of those situations that we do face quite a bit in our community, and some of the things that we have the opportunity to address with this need in replacing an engine for engine 83.
Hi, my name is Keith Gould. I'm with Safe Industries. We are the representative for Firemaster Tankers, which is the truck that they're discussing. A few high points on some of the things he talked about. So the truck that they're looking at, or looking to replace, can affect your ISO ratings. So with the tankers that we're building, we're actually putting a larger pump on these trucks. They're 1,250 gallons, or 1,250 gallons a minute. So with that larger pump capacity, in the event one of your frontline pumpers went down, this tanker can stand in place of that as far as ISO is concerned, and you'll still meet the ISO specifications for a frontline pumper, which requires 1,250 gallons a minute. I've got a video here real quick I can show you of the truck in operation. It's one we did for Clute, and it's pretty much a sister truck to the one we did to Rusk. Maybe a 10-second clip. It's not very long, but it gives you a drone footage of the truck.
Did y'all demonstrate this in Tig last night?
No, sir. No, sir. There's similar products that are running around, but none of them have this 1,250 capacity. This is the Clute unit that we built for them. This has the pump and roll capabilities on it. You can pump up to 125 gallons a minute or down to 30 gallons a minute on this truck. I personally use these on hay field fires, rice field fires, and what's great about them is you can stay in the truck, in the air condition, or controlled climate, out of the smoke, and you have a very, very long pump time with these. We actually did a demo for a customer. Said at 30 gallons a minute, we covered the entire ditch line on a county road for over 2 miles and coated it with water. So it shows you the kind of suppression capabilities that these units have. Again, this operates separate from having to have it hooked to the side of the truck. Another big thing that we're seeing is the departments are having to respond to fires on your interstate, with your medium fires, things like that. So many of these trucks are getting hit nowadays. And a lot of firemen are getting killed or hurt With this, it enables the operator to stay in the truck, seat belted in the truck, and can still operate the remote turret by a joystick in the truck. So he's not having to get out. You know, also with volunteer attendants being down, and depending on what time that call comes in, you may only have one guy that can control the truck at that point in time. One operator can flow 2,100 gallons of water out of this truck by himself with no other support. So that speaks to a lot of the things that they're looking for from the volunteer standpoint. So we have, this is the last 2,100 gallon truck that I have in pipeline right now. The next ones that we have coming out will be, the average build time on these trucks now is running anywhere from 2 to 3 years. That's if we can get chassis. That's been our biggest struggle after COVID, as everybody experiences, and she's experiencing getting quotes. We were just talking about Bible. So these trucks I've had on order, this one's been on order for 1.5 years. It's set to complete in July of this coming year. We already have the pump module on the ground at the factory. I've got the tank, and I have the chassis secured. We're just waiting for it to go in production. This truck would be built in Springfield, Missouri, which is where our tanker manufacturing plant is. So again, it's a truck that they would be able to get sooner than later because their other truck is already down with the pump shaft issue, which quite honestly, the repair on that pump shaft, I think from what you were talking about, is going to be more than the complete value of the truck, in all honesty. And then I still don't think it's going to meet new NFPA by putting a new pump in, is it?
No.
Yeah. So, but again, I mean, I've got this truck as the last 2,100 I have. I have some 3,000s. Now, what we put together, and again, all this came about in the last 2 days, basically, after we got the award. So we reached out to Republic Finance, which is one that does a lot of municipalities. They've done stuff for Russ, for they've done Buffalo's too, I think, some of Buffalo's stuff. So Angie Deming's very well known in doing that. But so what that shows is a 10-year finance plan. The $275 that you see deducted as the first payment would be the grant amount that would be paid by the state to the department, and that would be utilized as the first payment after the truck's delivered and all the training stuff. So then that would give you basically, and you'll have a 1-year deferral on the first, so you got about 16 to 18 months after the truck's delivered before you would have an actual payment due on the truck, if you opted to do a 10-year finance plan on the truck. For the remaining balance of, sorry,
264.6.
264.6. Now, this does include a phone system being added to the truck, equipment mounting allowance in the amount of $5,000 added to the truck, your HGAC fee, which is required on everything, that's $2,000. Phone system and additional lighting was $19,920, and then $7,500 for graphics, and that would include all your emergency graphics on the side and on the back of the truck, all the chevron. So that's what brings you to the $539,600. If this unit, which everybody, our phones have been going nuts since these grants got awarded because we actually have trucks on the ground. So there's the units being quoted in the next week to probably at least 4 other departments, I think is what Shane's working on. And by the way, Shane Reeder wanted to be here today. I'm a little bit thinner and uglier than he is, but he said to tell y'all he apologizes for not being able to make it.
He missed the sale.
He missed the sale. All right. He unfortunately had a meeting already scheduled for the last 2 weeks. But so with that being said, if this unit sells, this truck was ordered 1.5 years ago. So the chassis is at 1.5 years old pricing. The pump, all the components are 1.5 years. If I had to price this truck today, you'd be closer to $595,000, and you'd be looking at 2 years in building.
Are you familiar with the truck that Centerville just got for $485,000?
I am not.
It's a commercial cab.
Did they do a deep sub?
What did he do?
That was a year ago, though.
It's 2,000 gallons.
Yeah.
So if he did it 1 year ago, that truck chassis was probably ordered 2 to 3 years ago, more than likely.
It took them 1.5 years to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got it about 1 year ago, and yeah, $485,000.
Yeah, and if I remember, Shane had talked with me about that truck a little bit when they got that truck. I don't think that one has pump and roll capability on it either. So that'll add to your cost. And then again, with that truck, I can assure you that chassis was probably ordered at minimum 2 years ago, if not 3 years ago. And chassis prices, no matter what it is, if you're buying a personal truck or one of these big trucks, the chassis and motor prices have gone through the roof. Now, another thing that is coming up is the new EPA emission standard. We're seeing that on the custom cab trucks drive the pricing up. I just worked a deal for a department out in West Texas. That truck's going up $78,000 to go to an X10 motor over an L9, which the X10 meets the new emission standards. Used to, we could buy emission credits as manufacturers, so I could buy, if I knew I had 500 trucks in pipeline, I'd buy 500 credits. Well, our previous administration is now, we can't buy credits anymore. So if the truck is not started and a VIN number issued by January 1st of 2027, you fall under new emission standards, which means you have to pay for the more expensive motor, the new emission systems. They're adding a 48-volt alternator now to these trucks that nobody's tried or done anything with. So again, that's another downside of ordering one and building the order, because you'll fall into new emission standards by the time the truck comes through, and a substantial price increase to the truck. In addition to that, you know, over the time frame that this truck's been on order, there's been roughly 10% price increase since we initially ordered that truck.
Joe, repairing this truck that we have, 83, we've got the new engine in it. We get our pump fixed for
$11,000.
$11,000.
And then it'll run out. That's what Anthony asked me to.
Our key rate in town is, have y'all applied for an audit on it, see what your key rate's gonna be lately?
That is Anthony, so I don't know about that.
He is on the
But-
phone if you'd like me to ask him that question.
I would be curious what it is for the city right now, and then the,
Is it 8 for the city now?
Is it?
The county's a
Outside.
9.
Together.
The county's a 9.
Yeah.
Anything outside city limits is automatically a
A
9.
10.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a 9 or an X. The only way that you can change that is basically
ask to-
all the departments together, we would have to flow 1,000 GPM for an hour straight without going below that 1,000. And that would take, you have to set up so far out, and that would take tankers running back and forth. But if you fall below that 1,000 GPM,
You fail.
you fail right then.
And I can speak to that because Montgomery County, we did that in North Montgomery County. We bought an 8,000-foot hose trailer, and we had to do exactly what he's talking about. You have to get a supplied water source, so be that drafting or drafting from the tanker shuttle. And you have to maintain that, and if you have one blip and that thing drops 1 GPM below what your flow rate is, you fail the test and have to start all over. So it's a very costly deal, but it extended our range almost 1 mile all the way around outside of the city of Willis, because we extended 8,000 feet, basically.
The truck that y'all have now, how many gallons will it haul?
Ours,
1,000 gallons.
1,000 gallons.
We have 2 trucks that haul 1,000 gallons.
So you got 2
And-
trucks that haul, that's 2,000 gallons, correct?
To that, but we either have to call Wortham or Dew or Teague if it's a big structure fire out in the county
Okay.
to get enough water.
So how much does this one?
2,100. Actually, it'd be 2,080 because you'll have a 20-gallon foam cell, so it takes away the water capacity.
So how many gallons will it haul? 2,100?
2,100 total fluid, yes.
And also in another year and a half, we're gonna have to retire 83, because it's to that
Why
25.
do you have to retire in a year and a half? Is there,
There's
there some stipulations?
an age restriction on it, so it can only be 25 years old, and then they want you to take it out of service and retire it, or have that chassis
So it
recertified.
automatically has to come out in 25, after 25
You
years
can
of
have it
service?
recertified.
What's that?
You can have it
But it
recertified.
has to be
Yes,
brought up
but-
to new NFPA standards
Yes,
to
sir.
be recertified.
So we just had theirs done.
And it does cost quite a bit of money to recertify them and have that chassis inspected and all of that other stuff that goes along with it.
But it still just holds 1,000 gallons.
Who does the inspection, you know? I mean, who does that?
You can call for an independent inspection, they'll do it tonight.
Is that some, with the fire departments, is that somebody?
Well, they can call service companies to do it. We can also do NFPA inspections because we have certified technicians that can do that. But there's independent companies that do it as well.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, I was just, I have a hard time hearing.
No problem. Anthony also asked me to say, now I don't know, we just now got the bid, so I haven't looked at it. There's $5,000 on there for equipment. Anthony said.
That's for mounting of equipment and
Oh,
shelving.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Anthony said we would not have to buy any equipment for this because we would take the current equipment and hose off 83
Move it over.
and move it over to that. And if the county will allow us, we could possibly get a $25,000 credit by trading 83 in, which are not 25,000. After they inspect it.
Where did this 25,000 come from?
That was a discussion.
Sean.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Shane's already put it out.
Yeah,
Is that without fixing the pump or after the pump?
That's
before, right, as is. And I asked him, I said, look, here's what's wrong with the pump. Could you guys help us sell it? And he said, your company will take it as a trade-in.
Okay,
But
so
he
he's
did
already
not,
processed.
the 25,000 is not in stone. You know, you'd have-
Yeah, it would be based on passing a pump test or doing an actual inspection on it.
Yeah.
Again, all this is coming to light within 48 hours, we were asked to.
It failed the pump test because of the gauges. They want all the gauges replaced.
Gotcha.
So we wouldn't want to fix it up or do anything to it, to trade it in. We'd want to trade it in as is and not spend the county's money to
If
fix
don't
it
fix it up, we can.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that the captain had mentioned was using that truck as a blocker truck or as a reserve truck at some point. So because of the value of those trucks and what it would cost to basically get something that you could use to block another apparatus on the interstate or something like that, even if we get run into it. We're seeing that a lot around the state. Guys are taking trucks that are coming out of service and using them as blocker vehicles because you don't want a $500,000 truck to get rear-ended when you can put a $20,000 truck back there full of water that's going to help protect everybody that's on scene as well as your.
Can you take a cabin chassis truck and put a 2,000-gallon tank on it and use it for a blocker?
It would depend on the GVW rating on the truck. I would have to see what the actual overall GVW rating is. My gut feeling would be to tell you on a 1,000-gallon tank, the chassis that's under it will not hold it up.
Yes. What kind of truck is 83?
International.
Like a DT 4900 or
4,900, 2,000 model.
He found it, what it says on the top.
I'm Baptist, so I don't gamble, but if at any time people in our departments should start gambling, Anthony wanted me to show you, after we got this grant, we were called by the DOD, and we've been awarded a DOD truck, $175,000 truck, that we either can pick it up in the next couple of weeks or they'll deliver it within 60 days. Now, the top is what it will look like. The bottom is what some departments have done to it. Our requirements are within a certain time period, I don't know what it is, 159 days, we have to have it painted a different color. So we're working on talking to some people.
I got some problems on those.
They said that you could do that, but what we want to try to do is get it as nice looking as we can. It also comes with a $30,000 grant to put a 500-gallon tank and a pump on it.
Wow.
So-
Carry more than 500 gallons.
It will, but we thought we would use it as a brush truck and possibly a blocker. Anybody hits that thing, they're going to be in trouble. Also, it could be used countywide for high water vehicle. Because this is going to, if you look at the tires on that thing, this thing's going to sit up pretty high. I may have to.
When did you find out, Bill, you got that?
A couple of days after we got the other grant.
It's all been back to back.
That's right, and we've gone ahead and voted in the department to accept the DOD truck, because $175,000 across the county, nothing, is a good deal. All we gotta do is come up with painting it, the $30,000 grant, Anthony's already checked, and it'll cost $25,000 to put a 500-gallon tank and a pump on there. So, and we've got lights at the station. We've got a light bar and everything where we can try to. I'm a low-dollar guy. I tried to cut everything to the bottom line. In fact, we had to look. You know, Anthony wants the stuff that you added to the bid, but bottom line is, wasn't Russ truck right now, it would sell for $465,000.
No, that truck right now, if we had to refloat that truck, it would be well in excess of $600,000. Brand new. If they had to order one today and order a new chassis, and that's without an EPA scan.
But the one that you've got is 500 or something.
Yes, sir. And that, like I said, has a breakout. There was 19,000 added into that price, 19,940 for the comm system. So,
You also said there's gonna be another increase in December on top of that 600,000? But we get it for the original price.
yes, because this truck, that's again, was ordered and all the components were ordered over the year.
How many people can ride this truck? Two.
And most of the time, two. Yeah, but you can get three, but by the time they put a console or something, put the radio windows, yeah, you can set one seat.
So we also looked at trucks where we could fit 4 to 6 people in them with these custom cabs on the street. 1.1 million, 1.2 million, and we shied away from that. We were like, no.
That's what, and we just don't need that. We need a tank. That's what we need right now.
Especially with the houses going in on the lake, once those go in, if one of those catches fire and we gotta wait on Pete to come with a tanker, we run out of water, now we're looking at.
What's that tanker that Southern Hotel?
I'm not sure. I called, find out.
It's either 1,500 or 2,000.
That new one they got? I believe it's a 1,500.
Theirs is not a
thought so.
pumper tanker. Theirs is a tanker with a little bitty engine on the back that you slow flow.
Yeah, so that's got a low volume pump on it, that's 250 gallons a minute. So it will not meet ISO qualifications for a frontline pumper per se. It has to flow at least 1,250 to meet that specification, which this one does. The one that they're using is the same type you can see on, say, a grass rig or a brush truck. Small volume, small pressures, 250 gallons a minute, at best.
You guys are the politicians. I don't want to be a politician.
You want it, now.
What? Would it be feasible for y'all, you all, however you say it, to talk to the big development at the lake and see if they can get some money in for this? Because this will be the first response vehicle to go to a structure fire or a big fire in the lake.
How much time do we got?
You got a week?
I got one question too, since you asked that question. What's the city of Fairfield gonna put in? Since it's housed here, or have y'all talked to them about helping?
This is a county vehicle, and
This is our truck.
the city they purchased our ladder truck, our pumper truck.
Wait, your ladder truck, I think the county purchased it a long time ago. How long y'all had it?
We have paid for it.
This is a 2019 brand new deal that we just got, and the city is paying the payments for the whole truck.
We made payments on the one.
Yeah, you made from what I understand, I don't know if you made the first payment on the other ladder truck,
Okay.
and then the city took it up from there. But that truck was 20 years old and was gonna have to have extensive repairs on the ladder. So in 2019, we purchased this new ladder, which the city's currently making payments on. The city is paying on our engine, for our packs, and for the squad. You know, the little vehicle we run out. And if Andy falls, we have to go out of his house, pick him up, we come out in that small
Rescue truck.
Yeah, the little rescue truck. The county owns the grass truck and
We got 3 trucks.
83 and the tanker, the brush truck and the engine. And our proposal is I would like to trade that engine off. It'd be nice to have a bunch of trucks, but we don't have a bunch of members to drive them right now.
We don't have a lot of room either.
Yeah, the city will let us cram as many stuff. We will have to do something with one truck, possibly set it outside, because won't this tanker take up that full bay pretty much over there?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, you can't put a big, brush truck in
In front of
the
it.
same bay with that, because we're running the same problem with the ladder. We can't put another truck in front of the ladder.
This will be shorter, and that's another great thing about this truck is the wheelbase and turning radius on it. It's a shorter truck, so pretty easy to maneuver, not much more than what a 1,000 would be as far as turning radius and all that. But it would definitely, I don't think you'd be able to put a brush truck in front of that rig at y'all station.
I know nothing about the deal at the lake, but it is in our fire district, and I'm sure if it's a $high deal, they're gonna expect $high service. That's up to you. Thank you.
Is this, one of these sheets of paper, is this self-explanatory on the money?
How much money we
With the grant, I got this kid right here.
Yeah, trust me, he's got, so this has the grant amount to 275, showing us the first payment right here. And then the remaining balance would be split out over 9 more payments.
So the match is figured in those other 9 payments. And then the match is, let me see, it's a 12% match.
Oh, okay.
On the 275, it's a $35,000 match to us.
That would be an Andy's question.
What is the question?
What's the $30,000 match?
If it's a 90-10 or is it a,
I think it's a 19.
I'm just waiting on the paperwork right here where it said 12%.
Oh, I think that's the 12% is.
Does that say Republic at the bottom?
That's the increase in the grant that they did this year. They
Okay.
went from 235.
The old grants were $240,000.
And they bumped them up to
I know.
275.
And they bumped it up
Trying
to
275 is the new amount.
275.
What is the cost of the grant to us?
There's no cost to us. That 275 is getting charged
Money
money
over
over
to
you.
you.
No, so all grants have like a 90-10 or an 85-15.
Generally a 19.
So like here, so I'll break it down like this. We got a grant also for PPE. It's a $25,000 grant. It's a 90-10. So to get the $25,000 total matched up, we have to spend $27,500.
Oh, okay.
So that's what he's asking is
And
for him
if
to
I'm not
get,
mistaken, you have to spend that 27.5, so that puts you at $303,000.
yes. Well, I don't know what the actual
You would have
percentages
to,
is.
you have to buy, which we're there.
We're already
Okay.
there, yeah.
That I don't know about.
Now, the other thing that
You're
I
talking-
asked Angie at Republic to do was to send you a different payment schedule that would just show the balance amount, just all on its own without this in there to make it a little simple.
You're talking about the front line pumper, the thing that pumps it out the front.
The front bumper truck?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What if we took that off? How much does that cost? What if y'all, I mean, is that, I know it could be necessary, but it might not be. I'm talking about see if we could cheapen
On
it
that
up.
truck, I cannot take it off.
That's
Due to
that's standard. That's just a pipe run up there and you put your hose.
Well, and it has a different pump than I have on my other trucks.
It's got a pump where you can drive and use it.
Yes, it has a different, a split PTO on it, so it enables it to drive that pump while it's in motion. Now, if I quoted another truck, it would have to be a new build, and it would go back to a standard size, a standard pump, or a stationary pump, not pump and roll. But by the time we do that, with the price increase just on the pump and the truck itself, you're gonna more than exceed what this is with the pump and roll on.
Just so you guys see that this is exactly what we received as far as the text information for the grant.
And also on that, the reason where we came at you so short is we were number 53 on the list, so we weren't expecting to be drawn for this grant anytime soon.
We talked about with this morning there, mad,
Y'all knocked them out.
They were mad now.
They told us it'd be next year.
Yeah, that's why we didn't bring it up to you guys and we weren't planning on it yet, because we were not expecting them to pick 53 people off the list. So.
It says on this, on the thing here at the bottom, it says this grant will expire on 10/25 or 26.
So what that is you have, when you receive a grant, you have a certain time frame to accept the grant. Say, yes, we accept it. Now, you can accept it and still not use it. I mean, that's just part of it. I mean, I've seen it done plenty of times. So that's what the week is, or the week left is, for you to respond to the state saying, we accept this grant. And then you have up to 2026 to receive that product. Then the county would the county would have to pay the first check. The state's not gonna send a check to anybody but the county. So the county would have to pay whatever it is, 300-something thousand. And then the state would reimburse you the 275,000.
Is that in case you order it and it doesn't come in for 18 months or 2 years?
No, that's how the grants are, they've always been like that.
Yeah, so that way I have a time frame. What they've done now is allow you to put, so let's say you order a truck now and it takes 3 years to build. So you can accept the grant, order the truck, and then at the end of their cutoff period in 2026, you could go back and ask for a 1-year
But we
extension.
have to pay for the whole thing.
Used to that you could do 2 years max, you had 12 months, and you got a one-time 12-month extension. But because it's taken so long to get the equipment
Yeah.
built out now, they've changed the state's rate.
Trust me. There
Yeah.
is payments on
One
that.
by district,
I think you gotta pay for it all.
We got one share time though, 'cause we didn't wait till-
I could be wrong, that'd be a question that you'd have to ask.
Probably easier to build.
With,
Just
the Forest
We didn't
Service.
wait till-
Yeah.
Well, if you set up a loan, but I don't wanna do that.
We'll have to come to some kind of
I don't want to do
decision.
that.
Do we want to table this and come back in a few days and talk about it?
What are we talking about? Us making the payments or coming up with the money? The difference?
I guess we're talking.
Here's the deal, we didn't budget.
No, I know.
$264,000
Yeah, we didn't budget.
so
That's what I'm getting.
we have to go with the payments,
Yeah.
and then we could budget to
But
pay it
we-
off if we chose to, in a different year.
Yeah.
So nothing would happen until the fire truck is complete, right?
Right, there wouldn't be
So,
anything.
so
expected
this
to-
year, nothing would happen.
You'd have 18 months after we receive possession of the truck to figure out either if you wanna pay it in full or.
I would just say, talk to the Forest Service and make sure that they allow the payment side of that. I don't know if they do or not, they may.
So basically, as long as it meets the requirements, which
Right.
this truck meets every requirement that TEEX is asking for in the truck, then they will fund you after we deliver the truck and do in-service training on it. Then you would receive the $275,000 grant money, and then after that, what she's put together is a 1-year deferred. So after the truck is delivered and funded, that's when the clock would start to where you would have 1 year. So let's say completion set for July. I would say by the time it's delivered, training's done, probably the first part of August to maybe mid of August, before the truck would actually be here, trained, and everything would be done.
Is this coming August?
Yes, sir.
See, we don't really budget the money for this year. We don't have a
No.
budget.
But that's what I'm saying, you would use the $275,000 grant money for your first payment next year in 2026. So as far as the county would be concerned, you wouldn't have to supply a payment until 2027.
If we can pay for it, like if we're putting it in a budget for next year, and we're only gonna be out, how much just total? I mean, we're gonna pay the $593, right?
264.
But we're gonna be out the $264. So we just need to pay for the whole thing, get the reimbursement, we can budget the whole 593 next year and not have the payments and all that, because you get into us having a loan and all that, and then you got more reporting and things like that. So I think it would be better if we stayed away from that, if we can just pay for it. We can put it in the budget, and then we'll get the money back, and it'll roll over into our fund balance and just pay for it outright.
Have y'all looked at any other trucks that would be, that could be less than this?
We've looked and all of them are pretty high up there. Like I said, the cabs are 1.2, 1.1, 1.2. The pumpers like he's got, they're right around that same competitive price.
What about the truck that they displayed over at y'all's thing a couple, not before yesterday? Where did it go and how much was it? Do you remember?
Oh, it's a demo truck. It's still they just take it around the state. It's available. It was that was a 2,000 gallon tanker for $428,000. They have an upgraded version of that for $479,000. Comes with a few other extra, what do you want to call it? Add-ons to it, I guess, yeah. For that extra, it has an upgraded cab and chassis on it for that extra money.
This truck will be here in July. If we go with this truck, we'll have it in July. Like he said, training.
Availability, come down to availability is the big issue with everybody, just like buying a car or a sheriff's department. I mean, we just can't get the chance.
Exactly. And then if
Because
we get it,
because it would already.
that's what we're really about.
But I need that.
Plane gun, or the same, yes, now we're going four-wheel drive.
Was that a
That's what
big road
I'm
truck?
Yes.
I didn't.
We need to make some kind of decision what we're gonna do. I mean, we're
Yeah, so
gonna table
this
it, but
truck
we're
is
gonna.
already, all that I do is finish the touches on it. We'll have it in
So this is a truck I already have in the system.
And then grant will just.
If you did, if you only order, they started today.
And then that'll give us next year. That way it's not really fine.
I got one quick question. We're fixing to wrap this up. I got one question. When is the last day that y'all can actually tell them that you got the grant? I mean, you gonna get the grant or you're not gonna get it?
Is Anthony on the phone?
It's Friday. Next Friday. Yeah.
Next Friday.
And you'll hold the truck.
I can't hold the truck.
You can't?
I've got
Well,
4
what's
months.
your deadline? Heck, but there's
So,
no line.
here's what I'll say. So the truck is open to 7, we sell trucks in 7 states. So in that 7 states, I've got 38 salesmen. This truck is being bid out currently, not to mention what he's talking about, how many trucks got awarded here in the state of Texas. We are pricing this truck, I mean, almost daily. We've got people calling and asking for it. Now, if the intent was to do it and you wanted to do it, you could do an intent letter for now to hold, then I could actually hold the truck.
An intent,
Next Friday?
An intent to purchase.
that's a promise.
I think we need to just take that to a couple days, to maybe, when can we have our next meeting? Next Monday or Tuesday? Or do y'all wanna make a decision today?
I mean, because if somebody
Good,
issues
we're
a
still,
PO,
I'll give you a call back.
that's gone.
I don't want to come back and ask y'all for 500,000.
I was wrong on the day we need to respond. We have to respond to this grant tomorrow. It was the other grant is next Friday.
Yeah.
So that was I apologize for that.
That's what I thought you said.
Break if you won't do it.
When did y'all actually find out that you got the grant?
We got the grant last Saturday.
It's the first time y'all got it?
Yes,
It's the
sir.
first time you know anything about it?
Yes, sir. It
That's what
was,
Oakwood told us.
yeah, it was not very long. We did not have a very big window to.
See, we heard rumors, y'all known about the grant for 2 months.
We knew that we were on the grant list, but we did not hear about it for 2 months. We just found out less than 2 weeks ago. I was in Mexico when I found out because I'm like,
We
oh, that's
were
cool.
told that it'd be.
We were
I think it was a-
we were at Antiques Grant Award meeting, and that was.
And then as soon as we got it, we started going through the options to kind of give you guys an idea, to kind of present it to you guys and whoever we needed to. And that's when we found out these are $1.1 million. And we were like, that's out of the question. And that's when we
Were you
found
at the meeting when
Yeah.
this bumper that only holds 2 personnel, but it's a tanker, so we're gonna have an engine there if it's really a bad structure fire, but we need the water supply, is what we need. Now, on that finance, is there an early payoff? So if we accepted this finance and we got the grant and they put it into the budget the following year to pay it off, do we get dinged for that or no?
That would be a question for Angie, Demi. Generally, they require a certain amount of time, to get 3 or 5 years, because they've got to make their money back on their interest, right?
See,
But-
I don't know about that then. I mean, we're gonna have to pay like an early payoff fee if we wanna, pay it off. So if they, the grant match would be the first payment, so we would be fine to get it in July. But then we would wanna go ahead and pay it off in October, after we budgeted the 200-something thousand and pay it off. But if we're gonna, it just depends on what.
Let me call her.
Could we make the training last through August, so that way they can get that?
Unfortunately, I can't stretch it out that long, it's a tanker.
What about delays on the build until September?
Hey, Angie, here's this, we came in, there's a question. So in regards to, if they receive the truck in, let's say, August, and Teach funds the first, payment for them, and then they decided they wanted to pay the truck off early, let's say, when were you
October.
saying? In October. Would there be a penalty
What the hell would it be?
to pay it off if they decided to pay it off in October of next year?
Because it's a finance company. That's,
That's what
it's a finance company. And they gotta make a little money for all of it.
3%.
Yeah.
3%. Would it go for percent and a half?
3% of 264 would be $7,500.
Okay. All right, that's what I need, thank you.
3%.
So 3% would be the early payoff, which, what you're at 5, what was the rate?
75.
What
Yeah,
is it?
something, it's like something I know.
7,500?
I mean, I just did it in my head.
260, yeah, yeah.
79.20.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's because you.
That's 3% of the principal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
79.20.
I assume that's what they mean.
Yes, sir, it is.
There you see.
I still know we're gonna get the money.
It's, yeah. That's,
Talk to God.
See,
it's hard to do.
He talking to him? Did he call him?
Trying to see if the partner was.
Yeah, that's important enough.
because that, honestly, that, I mean, we need it out in the county everywhere, but that's a big one. If one of those catches fire, we're either waiting on Southern Oaks or Teague to get there with the tanker, and by that time,
I don't want to lose it.
typically we take our 1,000 gallons, but by the time they get there, we might be out of water.
That's what Anthony told me.
Yeah. We've been,
Well, I mean, hopefully,
we
Where they were-
the grant list.
I mean,
for 11 years.
$275,000 is a lot of money.
They don't have any problem with us taking the DOD truck or anything, just a county truck.
why, we have,
Just, we're committing to money. You know, how many, it puts us in a tough.
I saw this truck right here.
It'd be natural for us if you got messed up, but whoever we get or hit, that's not a lot.
Zoom in on it. 1,000 gallons, so it's not,
86 on
It's
those.
1,000 GPM
It's
pump,
not a
2
pump.
gallons of water.
Now, what we just want to make a phone call.
Okay.
the inlet. There's a 2,000 gallon, or 2.5 inlet.
Just a
but the
2.5
insurance would be.
tank full of charge.
That's nothing compared to getting it.
That's a hell of a USP pump.
Yeah,
so
that's what
1,000
the
GPM.
DOD, we, I think Anthony asked him, he said, what's the value of the truck?
I think there's a guy in Bartlett that Sutton Jones doesn't even sell trucks on the side or
Yeah.
something. For Metro,
Yes, sir.
I mean, I might talk to him to see, I might talk to him and see what he can do for y'all.
Okay.
That truck there, though, that pump is not a pump roll.
I mean, I think that's what everybody else has. I think one like this is about what everybody else has.
Okay.
I mean, why don't y'all just, I mean, I'm all for tabling this to when we have the next meeting this week. Either that or don't do anything.
And it's had from losing money.
Yeah.
And we, because it took us, I think this grant was put in like 7 years ago, I think.
11 years.
Is it 11? 11 years ago. We put it
Just
in.
you say you're gonna use it, but you don't know when.
They gotta tell them something.
I mean, but it's still good at 2020,
Yeah.
whatever that was on that guy's phone board ago, it's still good to them. I mean, you just gotta tell them you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that we're gonna run into in this time, so we can look into other trucks, that's 100% fine. This truck will be here before 83 goes out of service. So we would have, essentially, we'd have the truck before we lose a truck. Now, if we go to a different truck, we're looking at 2 to 3 years of,
Well, I mean, you might find somebody that's got one, I mean, because they've been delivering them, I know that he's been delivering some every last few days.
yes, sir. And that is possible, but like I was talking with the 53 grants that just came out, there's a lot of people looking for these pumpers, and a lot of people are going with the cheaper options, so we're gonna dry up pretty quick.
Streetman, we may have those in the county, won't we?
Yeah, streaming.
Yeah, but it does.
Like we did the rest of the agenda.
I'm not,
And fix a pump, well,
I don't.
we can definitely look into other options, I'm 100% fine with that.
I mean, if y'all gotta have something tomorrow,
And here's what the.
That's probably a thing to do.
So Chris, hey Chris,
I mean, the thing is, that it's not a, it's a truck, I get it, it's expensive, but we don't.
So what we need to do is just.
Most of the time, we have regular repairs, I
We don't have to wait and get that 275,000 to help.
mean, right, but we don't have 593.
We're just.
We usually pay for it.
Well, that's not bad.
When we buy stuff, we pay for it. So,
I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
I'll do that for you.
What do you say?
and you still have time to figure everything else out. I mean,
That's
accepting
still a
it,
lot,
it's just,
that's
it's
still a
just
big
telling
deal
them,
though.
accepting the grant is just telling them, hey, we accept this grant. I mean, there's a department within the county that accepted one and then didn't do nothing with it and had you tell the state, hey, we're not gonna take it. So,
Do they charge, do they even charge you now?
you don't get charged for it.
It's just.
It's just,
Just
you have to
whatever you
start-
got on the list.
then you have to start the 10-year, 15-year process all over again.
Now, if we don't do that and we have to reapply for the grant, we go back down to the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want you to lose the money.
Yeah.
Well, we
I
don't want the county to pay more money than they have to.
We,
Absolutely.
We can finish the rest of the agenda and just recess today.
We can, and that way we can make any time we want to.
That's right.
Can y'all look at them tomorrow sometime for another truck somewhere? Can y'all get in contact with some other companies that provide these kind of trucks that y'all need?
We can look into it. I'll have the chief start looking and I'll start calling around and seeing what people have on the ground or what their availability is and what the build times are.
So we're gonna recess it to what time we'll just recess till tomorrow. Go ahead and finish this agenda. You wanna finish doing your thing?
So
Yes.
Okay.
if we said, yes, we take it, and then something weird happens and we don't, will the county or us be penalized except for having to get
Now,
back
you just have to
to
restart.
the
I mean,
bottom
it's,
of the 10-year?
and
I don't know whether I can, I'll be here.
as long as it takes to get those grants, I mean, 10 years is very
I don't want
conservative.
anybody to have to
Yeah,
make
exactly.
a test,
Yeah,
but I would like to think this through a little bit more
and I'm sorry,
on a game plan.
yeah, we gotta, yeah, cause if we agree, we're gonna follow through, we gotta make sure that that's.
The good thing to know,
You can raise my taxes, I'm okay
No,
with that.
no, wait,
You might think that you're-
Oh, I know.
And we didn't budget for it. It
Yeah.
puts us in a tough spot trying to figure out how to make it work
Yes.
Yeah, I think,
legally.
I think that's something,
right.
as for the fire departments, we need to work on better is letting y'all know way beforehand, hey, we're at this place on this list, so.
yeah, especially during budget work.
Right, that's something that we can work on. I'll bring it up to all the fire departments and.
And I know y'all didn't expect to.
We didn't expect them to draw 53 people. That
In
was
this case, Ron,
surprising.
we were told, don't expect to hear from us until 2025.
Yeah, I mean, so it's based on a point system, and you have each department, depending on different factors, you can move up or down in a hurry. I mean, the PPE grant we put in last year, and all of a sudden we got it this year. Well, that's really almost unheard of. A year for a grant is just doesn't happen. So there's a lot, I don't fully understand how the state does their point system, but it changes very
And
quickly.
y'all were talking about the age of the trucks. I got a call yesterday from another fire department in our county. They have a 19, it's either 84 or 85 C60 Chevrolet. We're still in use. But they're wanting to retire that truck due to its age and constant repairs. And their plan was to buy it's about a four or 5 year old truck with 48,000 miles. It was a fire truck. It's got a flatbed on it now. And so they're wanting to put a slide-in unit that they currently have on that truck. Then they told me that some of the 3 out of the last 10, whatever, motor vehicle accidents that they went to, cars were on fire. So they're shorthanded as well, so if they only have 2 people and they're in a rescue truck and they get there, they don't have no water. So they're looking at putting water on a truck and having rescue tools. So if there is only 1 or 2 people that could show up on the scene, they've got what they need, they're not waiting on somebody else. And,
If you're putting,
so that's something else that's gonna be, that the court's gonna be asked of, and that's, what they wanted to do. That was about a, $60,000 purchase that they were gonna ask for half, the county to pay for half of. And then they're gonna do the work themselves. They're not sending it off, they're gonna rig it out themselves.
On
This is
this,
something else that we gotta keep in mind, you know.
On this
And it is an older truck, you know.
on this agenda today, the only thing that's on here, the way this reads, is consider and accept a grant for a pumper truck, and that's all we're supposed to do.
Do you have this one?
You got it.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Well, we're still considering.
That's all, that's all you really need, but we need to tell them about more, 'cause
I went and made a phone call. I'd really like to recess till tomorrow.
Yeah,
No problem.
absolutely. And we can, if he's correct on the grant, we can accept the grant and then figure all the details out later. I didn't know that part of it, so if that is 100, I mean, I'm sure it is because he's knowledgeable in it. We can accept the grant and then we can kind of revisit it.
the best, I mean, the best and easiest way is just call down to, Forest Service, talk to the, I forget her name, I've got her number though. Talk to it's a lady down at College Station. Any questions you have, she'll answer them right then.
Okay.
I don't want to lose the truck, it's in stock.
Yeah.
But, and then the next one is 2 years out, and it's $100,000 higher.
Right.
That's something else to think about.
You wanna come back at 9 o'clock in the morning?
I'm gonna be up here with Michael at 7:30, so, yeah, I'll be around.
Doesn't make sense if you don't do it.
No, that's fine.
Let's do that. The earlier the better.
Me too.
So I got,
Larry's here today for lunch.
Start date.
yeah, the better.
Yeah, we'll go to you. Okay.
but y'all have no problem with us accepting the DOD truck and turning that into a county brush truck.
The free truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, water rescue.
I don't think we make it.
Yeah, we can't do that today, it's not on the agenda.
Well,
We've already accepted.
we've already accepted.
We already said it.
We just want y'all to know, at no charge, we're adding another truck.
Okay, so we're gonna make a decision, you're gonna make a motion?
Sir, now we're just, we'll recess on item number 9.
8:30.
All the other items on the agenda, will they be done tomorrow?
We're just gonna be on that right
We're
now.
gonna do them now.
Yeah. So, y'all just come back 8:30 in the morning? Yes, sir.
Okay, y'all will have-
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time, we appreciate it.
So we're gonna, let's finish the
Yeah,
agenda.
we'll finish it and then we'll.
Okay.
Listen, we appreciate everything the county does for us.
Yes, sir. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, hang right.
Yeah. And over here, what do y'all call it, Sugar Hill?
Yeah.
That DOD truck's not gonna get stuck at Sugar Hill. Brush 85, we pulled it out many.
Y'all just remember that, y'all just remember 27 goes to work on that one too, and work with part of Frisco County.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Tell them the dispatchers out there, we'll head that way.
27 gets our good trucks.
Huh? You get your good truck? I'm talking about everybody, you turn it.
Do you look out 27?
Okay, let's go. You're next on the agenda.
Okay.
Did we make a
Maria
motion?
has got,
This is-
she's
We can't do that till we get through.
through.
McCallum, MC, thank you, ma'am.
CALMAN.
There's one transfer.
Very good.
Y'all see that?
And we came,
Then the budget
our
amendments.
chief is in Canada.
The budget amendments are for the 86 fund.
Anthony.
So that's from last year, that was the amounts that was left in the last year line item. Their donations They're from donations and road repairs for Lloyd.
Thank y'all.
And so we just need to move them into the line item for the, in the 25 budget. So they can spend
I'll make
those
a motion
funds.
to approve, bank transfers.
All in favor? Okay.
What's that other thing you're talking about?
No bills to do, so no action.
We got,
Do we?
I saw that right in there from yesterday.
What? That was, I think that's from yesterday.
Okay. Clean up, look at it.
I'm working on an invoice for yours. I requested it yesterday. I emailed Gary yesterday. And
He's on the road tied up a bunch, but he usually answers the emails.
I told him, I said, I need a W-9 and I need an invoice, put it on the same one, the two things. He said, it'll be fine. So,
Next on the agenda.
That's it.
Well, we need to physically go through here and no action on all these item by item.
I thought we did those.
I mean, that's how I write the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going through, approve and pay the bills, that's no action.
No action. Approve payroll, no action. Reports, no action. Burn ban, no action.
No action on it, and all those others.
No action on special road use agreements, no action on approved bonds and education.
Make a motion, we recess until 8:30 in the morning.
Second.
30.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will recess officially to 8:30.
Right.